I don't know if there was one final straw. There were infinite final straws. It was just infested with homeless people, drugs, needles. It got unbearable.
We have people all around us that are making the decision to turn around and leave. They're selling their places literally at a loss just to be able to get out of Portland.
People in Portland, Oregon say they are scared and fed up with homeless encampments plaguing the city, especially near schools. The mayor pleading with folks not to give up on the city. He's banning homeless tents from school routes. But many families are still packing their bags and moving out. Joining us now is Jason Rantz, Seattle radio talk show host. Jason, this was eminently predictable. I mean, if you take a look at New York, people are moving out. They're moving to Florida. You take a look at California, people are moving from there to Texas and to Florida. If people don't like what's going on in their hometown or their neighborhood, they're leaving.
Absolutely. The same thing is happening here in Seattle and greater Washington state. At some point, the folks just give up. And, kudos, I guess, to the mayor in Portland for stepping up right now and trying to do something. I'm never going to get upset with some action at the local government level. The problem is you can tell people to wait. They've been waiting. They've been waiting for years. And the reason why the homelessness crisis has gotten so bad in Portland, as in San Francisco and Seattle, is because they don't really do anything until they have to, until they're effectively forced into some kind of movement. And the homeless people there know that. And so all they do when they get swept from one location, they just go somewhere else. And sometimes they return back to the same location because these rules don't have any teeth. So it's not like officers can go in there and say, hey, take us up on our offers of resources, or we're going to actually jail you for breaking the law. None of that happens. And so we just continue this cycle over and over and over again. They might not be right in front of those schools anymore, at least for the time being, but they're just a few blocks away.
Yeah, to your point, Mayor Ted Wheeler of Portland is pleading with residents not to pack up their bags and leave. He said in a recent interview, quote, "This isn't the time to pack up and quit. I want people to work with us, not get mad and leave. Fine, get mad at me, scream at me, but work with me." He did sign an emergency declaration, as you alluded to, which does not allow homeless people to set up camps near schools or along school routes. But as you point out, sometimes the homeless, they leave and then they come back. But the thing that I'm wondering about is, why did Wheeler wait so long? Why did this get so far out of control before he took any action?
I think it's a little bit complicated in the sense that all of this approach to homelessness, just up and down the West Coast, is viewed through an ideological lens. There is a position by a lot of folks who don't want these sweeps to occur that they need housing. They need subsidized housing. And so you have different government agencies deciding to try to get in on that and create some of the housing themselves or connect with different developers to do that. And unless you're willing to give someone a studio apartment, they're arguing that it lacks compassion to put them into certain kinds of shelter. You've got lots of folks who are living on the street who don't want to go to shelter because they don't want to follow any of the rules. On top of all of this, of course, you've got drug addiction, which is so incredibly serious here, and both in Oregon and Washington state, and for the most part, San Francisco and LA, we have decriminalized drug use. And so you've got this issue that's hitting all of these homeless people, many of the homeless people, and it's not getting any better because we're enabling them with these policies. All of that is driven by ideology, and a lot of these people are just blind to the results.
So real quick, what's the solution?
The solution is treatment on demand. The solution is to go away from decriminalizing, give officers the ability to actually have some teeth and say, we are giving you the resources. You either take them or you leave or you go to jail. It's up to you. And you know what? 9 out of 10 times they're going to say, okay, put me in jail. Fine, they'll be out the next day. The cops will be there the next day doing the exact same thing until you're willing to take the help.
All right. Well, we'll see what Portland does. But meantime, it's yet another American city that's being depopulated. Jason Rantz, good to talk to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate it.
You as well. Thanks.
Yeah, the